Welcome to our podcast.
This is Lee.
This is Cami. Thank you for joining us on our self-employed journey.
We hope you'll join us as we go through the ups and downs of our business ownership and growth.
We will be bringing you weekly episodes talking about our own adventures, interviewing other business owners, and sprinkling in some fun topics to keep this podcast relevant and upbeat.
So if you like what you hear, please don't forget to subscribe at the end and give feedback for future episodes.
All right, let's do this. I'm sitting here with Keri Petersen.
Hello. Hello, Cami.
Hi. With KP
Spaces.
Mm-hmm. You have been in business for, I just learned yesterday, 13 years.
13 years, yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to interview you because that's longer than I've been in business.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually, you've surpassed the 10-year mark, which is when 75% of businesses go out of business.
Sure, yeah.
So I guarantee you have a ton of information to share.
I don't know, we'll see.
That will help others go on their path and get to where they are wanting to go.
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
So my first degree is in psychology. So I graduated eons and eons ago. And I quickly realized after that I didn't want to do anything in psychology. I didn't want to get my master's, and there just wasn't a career path for me there. So I also needed to pay the bills. So I started working at this little home decor store, and I was doing all of their like window displays and rearranging their furniture and like helping customers, and I fell in love with it. So I went back to school and I got my degree in interior design. And then I worked in some furniture showrooms for a few years. And, you know, I come from a family of small business. And I think a lot of people who have the same experience will tell you it's really hard working for somebody else. Like, all you know is being your own boss. So it wasn't too long before I decided to just branch out on my own. Also, I became pregnant with my first daughter, and my husband and I were super excited, but I was also really sick a lot of the time. And so I needed to do something where I could have a flexible schedule. I could, you know, literally like throw up and then go and work. And having my own business helped me do that.
It gives us space to go puke and then start working again. It's true.
It's a puke and design is what I did early on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I love that.
But it was also super fun, you know.
I mean, it is. And I think, okay, so can you go into detail about your family history of business ownership? Like,
yeah, there's 4 of us, and
Yeah.
our parents owned a carpet cleaning and rug cleaning business for 30 odd years. So
Wow.
they were both just, you know, in the trenches of this business. Like, employees didn't show up, they would be, you know, doing janitorial work or cleaning toilets, or, you know, we all helped in the business in one way or another over the years, and just recognized like it takes a lot of work to, you know, run your own company, and it's a roller coaster all the time. But also you have a sense of autonomy, you know, too, that we definitely, I think, all wanted. And all of us, all 4 kids, don't really work for anybody. We work for ourselves in some capacity.
Yes.
So it's just what we know.
Well, they probably inspired that.
For sure.
And also, I think that it's a skill that we have from birth, probably.
You just know
it's
it.
It's just a different.
Yeah, I mean, my husband's a school teacher, and he
Yes.
couldn't imagine working for anybody else. Like, that sense of
Yep.
fly by the seat of your pants, he just couldn't do it. Like, he needs stability. So I think we're a good match in that way, and that, like,
Yes.
I'm like, we'll figure it out. And
Yeah. Well,
makes it
that's
fun.
huge. That's a huge quality of a business owner, actually. We'll figure it out, because every day I say we're putting out fires.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that you saw growing up, learning from your parents in that business, 30 plus years, that's amazing.
Yep.
That you maybe would have done differently?
Yeah, I think, you know, my parents did the very best that they could. And I'm super grateful to have that experience. But I think there was always a lot of money troubles, you know, that it really did take a toll.
Like
on
cash flow
problems. And I heard a lot about that growing up. And so one thing that I decided that I was going to do is, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to figure out how to make a lot of money. And I'm not going to stop until, you know, I figure this out. And I did not go to business school. I had one business class in interior design school, and then they like sent us on our way. I knew nothing, and I had to figure out everything on my own. And I was just hell bent. Like, I'm in this, like I've committed to this. I don't want to go get another degree. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the very best that I can be, and I'm going to figure out how I can make the most amount of money doing the least amount of work.
And I think that that's a commonality with every single business owner that I talk to, and that's why I'm actually doing this, because I say, no business owner, I will say this time and time again, people are going to get annoyed. No business owner went into business knowing how to be a business owner.
No.
No one. Who?
I don't know.
We just literally, there's got to be a class or something at some point. Okay, so now let's kind of go through your path. So you're in the 13-year mark.
Yeah.
Let's go from the beginning.
Okay.
And then let's talk about from year 1 to year 13.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years to go through. But like, let's start from the beginning and let's just see where it takes us.
Well, I started out making no money because my husband and I, we've had some, difficult circumstances. And so early on in my business, we had a second child that ended up being twins. One of the twins passed away when he was 8 months old. My business pretty much shut down during like a 2-year period when we were in doctor's offices and hospitals. And at the end of it, like I had nothing. Like I had my 2 kids small kids that I needed to raise. I had, my business, which was pretty much non-existent. And then I had my grief. And I had to figure out, like, how am I going to move forward with that? And so in the beginning, it was just really me finding pockets of time here and there to do something creative and to work on my business. Not because I had to, because I think everybody wanted to give me time, but because, like, my creativity was my salvation. It was the way that I moved forward. It was my grief therapy. And so I would steal these moments at night, on weekends, to sort of move forward with my business. I would hire a babysitter to come for a few hours a week. Any money I made went to the babysitter. Like we netted zero, for a long time. And then once my kids, were in school, it was like a little bit more time that I could take here and there. And then I started to figure a few things out. In years, 6 and 7, it was like, okay, well, I can really start to make some money here. And then I took classes, online classes. I read books. I listened to podcasts like this. Like I just was like hell-bent on finding any piece of information that I could do. And then I was just like, okay, I know how to work hard. I know how to make money, but how can I work smarter? So that was sort of my next level, is like, how can I batch tasks? How can I schedule my time? What products and niches can I focus on that make me the most money? And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like, what are the things that I can do so that like this business can run itself without me being in the very center of it? Because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is that you are literally the center of your business, and it's never meant to be that way.
You don't want to work. You don't want to be the number one working in your business for forever. Yeah. You have to step back. You've got to take a look from up above.
Yep.
Be the CEO.
Yep.
Take charge. Do you have employees now?
I do. I have an intern, which will soon be my first full-time employee.
Cool.
And that was a big transition for me too, is like, how do I let this go and let somebody else make some decisions?
Well, what made you decide to get an intern in the first place?
It was just the workload. I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was finding that like I was running out of time in my day to be that CEO, to have that executive time of like standing above and looking beyond, because I was too much in the work. And so I was like, this is the only way to move forward to this next level. I mean, I outsource a lot, and I've always outsourced, and that helps me, but I need somebody in the city with me, doing those things that like only I can do.
That you can delegate.
To delegate, yes. And that was a big trend. And it's been such a wonderful experience. She's lovely and so talented and has great ideas and initiative. And it was the best decision I ever made.
So do you ever I always have this fear when I have someone that's really good, that they're like going to run off and leave.
Yeah. But the alternative is you have somebody who's really bad who's going to hang around and
That's
stay.
true. And I think that honestly, if you do have that person that's going to stick around and be really good and then go off and do their own thing, they helped you grow your business to the next level. in a really
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
way.
Because there's two things going on. I am teaching her how to be an interior designer, and she's teaching me how to be a boss.
Yeah.
And so
You're gaining that skill.
I'm gaining that education. And so I owe her a debt of gratitude for that.
Absolutely. You're both growing.
We're both growing.
Yes.
And so then whatever I learn from her, if she chooses to leave, when she chooses to leave, I can bring that to the next employee or manager or whoever that may be. So.
I had been using interns when I was working for the nonprofit. And what I loved, so I would do like a 6-month internship from kids at Western in the accounting program.
Yeah.
And every time I would get someone new, some new piece of like a better process or a better something would come out of it where I would go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
And so it's like the collaboration.
It's
huge.
100%.
Because you've got another brain then, you know, sitting next to you going, wait, what about this?
Yeah.
It's huge.
And you're like, duh, why didn't I think about that
oh my
years
God,
ago?
Seriously, like 13 years later, you're like, wait, what?
It also helps. It also helps you figure out where the holes are in your business.
Yeah.
Because I have my way of doing something, but then when I'm trying to pass it on, I realize I haven't packaged that information well. I haven't niched that down. I don't have a tight process for that. So how can I streamline this so I can easily pass it on to somebody and they know exactly what I'm talking about?
It reminds me of, did you ever work in coffee? Okay, so like for example, Starbucks. Did you work at Starbucks?
No.
Okay, we're in Washington. They send trainees down to Seattle for, I think it's 2 weeks or something, some type of training program. This is how you make coffee. This is a process. Boom, 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 boom. So they all taste the same. They all look the same. Anyone who's trained can go in and do that job. And that is what you're reminding me of is like, hey, I do that in my business too, is create a process. And then you're able to go, hey, can you do this process? And let's see, run with it. And actually, you might find that there are holes in the process.
For sure. And that's the point. You should just always be refining your process. It's interesting, though, because process is such a buzzword right now. Everybody wants to know your process. They want you to talk about your process. And what I tell people, too, is don't make refining your process a way to paralyze you from moving forward. Like if you're a new designer, a new accountant or whatever, you don't worry about your process. You just go get working. Like you just start.
Just start.
And then you figure out slowly like, okay, could I make this into a process? What would that look like? But if you're trying to line up all your ducks before you get started, you're never going to start.
No, because it's almost like perfection.
It's perfection, right? It's paralyzing.
You want to be like, oh, I just want to be perfectly perfect in my process before I get running, and you
know this, it's like 90% of this business is just course correcting. You just go and you start. You don't know a lot about it, and then you just be like, oh, that was the wrong way. I'm going to turn here, turn there. It's never a straight line.
No.
If it's a straight line, I think you're doing something wrong. Like,
I'd love it to be a straight line.
It would be lovely.
It'd be very quick and fast and easy.
But it just never works out that way. Not as an entrepreneur.
No.
You've got to be ready for the twists and turns. That's okay.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. What about COVID? How has that affected you in your business?
Yeah, it's interesting because my industry hasn't been affected as other industries are. I'm actually busier than I've ever been.
Wow.
Because people are sitting at home and looking at the same four walls.
So true.
And are like, oh my God, I got to make a change. So I have a waiting list of people that want to work with me, which is really nice. Yeah. But also everything takes longer. The vendors that I work with, the furniture that I'm ordering, I mean, just double the wait times, the ETAs for things.
Are prices going up? Like, how's that?
I think they're in line with how they go up every year. Yeah. There's nothing too astronomical. Yeah. I think construction prices are up, materials prices are up. So there's changes that way. And then for a long time, I would only meet with people virtually. And so that always takes longer and things get lost in translations. I mean, we're figuring it out. It hasn't been the same. But, we're working with it.
Do you think that through this transition, changes that you've implemented are going to stay?
Yes.
Like what?
I think that, Zoom has made me realize that I can have a meeting with anybody, anytime.
Anywhere.
And that, that was a barrier that, I thought, oh, I'll never do Zoom. I just need to meet with people. Yeah. But, the time that I spent commuting around when literally I can just Zoom with somebody, or I can order samples and have them delivered to me. So there's a design center in our area where we all go and purchase products and look at new whatever that comes in. And I still find it like there's a lot of merit in going and meeting with people there, like having one-on-one conversations and relationships. Nothing's going to replace that.
Yes.
But there's a lot of things in my day-to-day that I've just had to cut out because we are in lockdown, couldn't do it.
Right.
And I worked around it, and I think I'll still use some of those
You
things.
worked around it, and now it's kind of showing to be something that is saving time.
It's saving time. There was a lot of ways that I could save time that I did not realize before.
How cool. That's what I think is, COVID, horrible. What we've been through is horrible, but to take it and go through our businesses and go, okay, how can I do this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it ends up being something that actually works better.
Yeah. And then also having my kids at home with online school, like in the beginning, I wasn't going to my office at all. I was just working from home. And so it was figuring out like, okay, the kids are here. There's all these distractions. How am I going to do that in the midst of all of this? And how can I streamline so that I am not, I can't work a full day at home. It's too hard with 2 kids. So how can I do more work in less time?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it's more streamlining.
Same. Same. I should do a podcast on myself from 2020 because literally night and day. And it's just you got to go with the flow.
And my kids are older, and so I can't imagine these mamas that are working with little babies trying to figure that out. I mean, I can't imagine how hard it must be.
Nope. Or like homeschooling kindergartners.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No,
like we're lucky that we have older students.
I bow to any woman who has a toddler.
What have been some of the biggest struggles that you've faced?
The struggles that I have faced have never been about projects or learning things. It's always been a struggle with myself and me believing that like I could actually do the thing that was set in front of me. It's always an internal struggle.
Like the confidence?
The confidence. It's the inner work, right? And so it's always a conscious effort for me to be my own cheerleader and to say like, you have got this, you can do this. You may not know what to do now, but you will figure it out. Like, because my track record is that I've always figured it out.
Absolutely.
Like, it may not be easy, but I'm still here and I'm still working, like things happen on projects all the time. Some mistakes are made or whatever. But like, if my inner work is being done and the confidence is there, then the rest is kind of easy.
That's huge.
Yeah,
every single business owner. And I was just actually talking to Lee, who's my partner on this, about that this morning because he's just learning to be a business owner.
Sure. And
just starting out with me. And I remember having that doubt in the beginning. And hey, you're amazing at this.
Sure.
I had people say that to me.
Yeah.
And so, in the beginning, if people are starting out, finding those people to support that. If this is your passion and this is what you want to do, you've got to have those people behind you who are building up your confidence as well as yourself.
Yes, because there are going to be days that you are just too tired and weary to do it yourself. And you've got to have a squad who can just have your back and say like, nope, you've got this. You're not going down like that.
You're not going down. I mean, there were days where I literally was like, I can't do this. I have to quit. Like, I'm not good at this. This is not. And it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
And it's okay to feel that way, but just to know that, like, it is a feeling, and that feeling will pass. Like, I know myself so well now. I'm like, okay, you're down in the dumps. You hate your life. But by tomorrow, it's fine again.
That's how I am. Like, let's go to bed. Yeah. And let's wake up and let's reset. Yes. Let's redo.
Yes. But I'm very lucky to have that support system. A lot of people who are in my corner and telling me that I can do it. And I don't know where, I'd be without them.
We need those people.
Yeah. And, some people say like, I don't have that. Just be hell-bent on finding it. Like if you don't have family or friends that can do that for you, the online space is immense. Like you can find that kind of support in Facebook groups, in, whatever it is in your industry, like people are out there to support you.
That's actually what I'm here for too.
Yes, like, exactly what you're
doing. Listen to what we're like, I'm cheering everyone on.
Yes.
Everyone. Yeah. Like if you have an idea and you want to do it,
go do it.
Let's do it.
Let's figure it out.
Let's figure out what your strengths are. Let's figure out what your weaknesses are. Okay, so you were talking about outsourcing, and I want to go back to that. What do you outsource?
Well, the first thing I outsourced was my accountant.
Beautiful.
I mean, that was just like, I don't have any
Everyone says that.
flippant idea what I am doing. I don't know anything about taxes. I don't know. So I work with somebody who works only with interior designers and know exactly like some of the struggles that we face. And so that was a big game changer for me. I started outsourcing my drawings. I was like, okay, I'm slow at drawings. I don't love doing them. So that was the next thing. I was like, okay, I've just got to do that. You know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook or whatever. And I'm like, I needed to have help with a brand presence. So I hire people to do videos. I hire people to take pictures of me. So that whole media portion is all outsourced. I'm trying to think. There's a million other things. You know, web design. I mean, like, I don't do anything. Like, I'm just like, I need to find an expert.
Either you hire an employee or you hire outsource.
Yes.
To fulfill the entire needs of a business.
Yeah.
Is how it will be successful.
Exactly.
So you're the brains of the operation.
Yep.
And you're taking those pieces where you're like, this needs to get done, this needs to get done, and you're going, boop.
Yep. I hire experts.
Get it done. Yes. Hire the experts.
Because I am not an expert in all things. I am an expert in a couple of things.
Yes,
and exactly. So I want to focus on those things.
Yep.
And the more that one other thing that I've sort of had to let go is that like I am very good at design. I'm a very good interior designer, but to grow my company, I also have to step out of that role as well. Because the one thing that I am really good at that no one else can do is being me. And that is the thing that I need to be the absolute expert in and to hone in my skills in that sense. And so that it is okay for me to step aside with design and let other people do that, knowing that they're going to do a great job and they're going to represent me really well. And I'm going to, you know, coach them and steer them in the right direction as much as I can. But I need to have that time to be the face of my business and to figure out what's next.
I definitely had that experience in around year 4 where we had grown so fast that the clients weren't used to not talking to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and actually people that were referring, because our whole entire business was referral based, which is yours too.
Yeah.
Referral. And what they would do is they'd refer not the business, they'd refer me.
Yeah.
And so the change that I had to go to the people that were referring me and say, hey, let's switch this up. Refer the business.
Yes.
Because the people working with me, the people that I have hired,
Yep.
they are an extension of me because I have trained them to be under the Powell name.
Yeah.
So same concept, right? Like we are part of the brand.
Right.
We are the name of the business, but the business is us.
Yes.
So refer the business.
Yes.
Don't refer the name.
Yeah.
Yes, we're amazing. I'm an amazing accountant. You're an amazing interior designer, but we've got amazing staff.
Yes, exactly. And that you step out of that role and you become the brand. It's a hard transition, though.
It is.
Because I'm very comfortable being the designer, being out there and being in front of people. You know, that's newer to me. Again, I'll just say it like, I'll figure it out. I figured out everything else so far. So, you know.
Actually, okay. What are your next steps? Do you have big goals for
like
the next 5 years?
I have big goals. I'd like to do more TV. You know, I'd like to do HGTV. I don't know if those things are going to happen, but I'm going to do everything I can to get it there. I've gotten close.
Super cool.
And then just, you know, continue to grow the business. I do coaching for interior designers.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So I just launched my first group.
Yeah.
It was late summer, early fall, and it was a 6-week program, and it was amazing. These women they taught me so much. We had such a great time. I'm going to launch it one more time live, and then the course will go out to the masses after that.
Good job.
So I know.
I'm so proud of.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you do the same thing. So
well, it's just amazing to
It's exciting. But then also you have to be willing to step off your confidence again and say, like, I'm an expert. Like, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And now, like, I can be the leader in this situation instead of the one that is constantly taking the courses and taking the classes. I mean, I can still do that because I always want to grow my knowledge base. But, like, I'm in a space where, like, I can say, like, I have things to teach. I was just in a place where I felt like I had no help early on. Like there wasn't all these online things you could take back then. It was just like,
True.
Go read a book, check out books from the library. You know, like I'm that old. And so
whatever.
I just wanted a group that like I would have wanted to be a part of.
Yes.
You know, and like a mentor that like I could have looked up to. There wasn't a lot of mentors back then. It was a really kind of cold shoulder business. I think people are so much more open now with information. But my thing is like, I want us all to win. Like I want us all to be successful.
It's a different culture. I'm honestly stuck on the statistics of these small businesses going out of business, that with what we're doing and getting the information out there and bonding, making, these connections and mentorships, that we can really decrease the odds.
Yes, exactly.
By informing people on ideas of how they can do this. Yeah.
And I think people feel like when they start to teach something, like, I don't really have anything new to say, But it's like the way that you say it, the way you present the information is new.
Yeah.
No one else has taught it like you.
Yeah.
And there's very special people out there who are going to connect to whatever vibe you have going on. So go find those people. Don't try to like come up with a bunch of new content that nobody has ever said before. Like, that's too much pressure. Yeah. Right? Like, find what has resonated with you. Find a way to package it in a way that you would want to hear it, and go teach it. And there'll be somebody out there who needs to hear it just like that.
I love that, actually. Yeah. What would you recommend for people who are just starting out?
Such a big question.
I know. But it's so for people that are just starting out, like we're talking about all these things that you're doing, outsourcing and employees and all of this stuff, right? All this big stuff. Yeah. But when you just start out, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources to be able to outsource everything.
Yep.
We are everything.
Yep.
And so
that's okay. You have to have a very compelling story to tell the world of who you are and what you do. That is the very first thing. And if you don't know who you are and you're not sure what you do, you're not going to get very far. So that story is, first you have to tell it to yourself, really hone in on what your gifts are and what your value add is to whatever industry that you're in. And then you have to figure out how to tell your story to everybody else. That is the foundation of the whole house. It's not about you need this app or this program or this tutorial. It's you got to figure out what the F you're doing, who you are, and then go tell the world.
Okay, I love that you just said that, because literally Lee and I are doing exactly that right now.
Oh my God.
With Adkins and Powell. And so the fact that you just said that, I'm like, I think you should teach a course on that now.
So many people start out, and I just know this about myself, is that like, yeah, I'm a designer and I'm just new and I da-da-da-da. It's like, no. What do you do? How do you do it? What gets you up in the morning? What is your drive? What is your passion?
Who do you want to help?
Who do you serve?
What is the problem?
Yes. And how are you going to solve that problem?
In your own way. And who are the people that are going to value it?
Yes. Your story is so unique. It's unique. It's only to you. And there are going to be clients out there who, it's the way you tell that story, that's just going to hit them.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I am picking up what she's putting down there. Like, I get it. I get her. Like, don't try to be like other people. You got to just be you, because your tribe's out there.
Yes.
I
love that.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Seriously. How do you stay motivated? Because it's hard being a business owner.
It's hard, especially in COVID, especially during election time. Like, there's just so many reasons to be sad. I do journaling. That helps a lot. I listen to podcasts like this, to get me pumped up. I listen to music. I think it's just naturally in me to just get up and try again. Like, that's just who I am. And just me realizing that, like, this is what I meant to do. What else am I going to do?
You're here. I mean, here. 13 years. So
I'm in it, right?
It's your retirement plan.
This is it.
This is it.
I better figure out how to make this work. And so, yes, I have those days where I allow myself to be sad and to feel defeated or whatever. But then it's just like, okay, well, Kara, how long are you gonna let this drag on?
Yeah, where are you going?
Where are you going?
You're gonna go.
You and I both know you're gonna get up and you're gonna try again.
Yes.
You're a glutton for punishment. You're just gonna keep banging your head against the wall till you figure it out. So you might as well start now.
I can relate to that so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Even friends can look at me and go, just go to bed.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning.
You're gonna start
You're going to
over.
be fine.
Yeah.
You're just kind of falling into this
Yeah.
right now, the leadership role.
Yeah.
What's your style? Do you even know?
I mean, I'm figuring it out. I think that one thing that I know about myself is that I think one of my, I don't know if gifts is the right word, but one thing that is easy for me to do is encourage people. My leadership style is like finding the one good thing that I see right then and being like, that was amazing. That's awesome. Let's hone that. Let's figure that out. Like, how can I highlight that? And then those other things seem to follow along. Like, I'm all about like, let's find the good. Let's pump all that up. And then we'll work on the other stuff, you know? I don't know if that's a leadership style, but...
No, it definitely is. I mean, yeah.
My whole brand, my whole style in design is happy, positivity. It's not forced. It's not toxic. It's just, that's just who I am.
Yes.
So I'm like, let's get excited about this. Like,
bright and bubbly.
Bright and bubbly. Let's all get involved. Let's have fun. You know, problems are going to come up. That's fine. But I think people who work with me know that, like, on, you know, construction sites or whatever, I'm always joking around. I'm always having fun. They can be stressful. People are spending their life savings on these projects, right? Like, I am there to ease tensions, to make people feel comfortable and safe.
You better make it pretty.
Gonna make it pretty. I better make it pretty. But also people want a great end result, but they also want to feel good in the process.
Yeah.
And that is one of my main focuses.
The connection.
The connection. I want you to feel good during the process and not just have a pretty space at the end of it.
Yeah, don't be stressed.
Yeah.
Screw it.
So I'm a leader, to employees, but more than anything, my leadership is to my clients. And how do I be a leader for my clients? And how do I let them know that, like, I am in charge? I do know what's going on. I do know what we can expect. This is not unexpected. We're okay. And we're going to get to the finish line.
I also think, and I said this in another episode with someone else, but I see this in you, is that you're a leader in your industry because you are taking the role of teaching others.
Yeah.
So that leadership of
For sure.
knowing that you can pass off information and not be an information hoarder. There's those out there.
For sure.
You know, and so you're really leading the industry by being able to share your knowledge.
And that goes back to what you were saying earlier about how do you motivate yourself. Is like, now that I know that I have these people that are counting on me, I better figure out how to motivate myself so I can be my best for these people that are looking to me for information, you know?
It's almost like you have a group of children.
Yes.
Right?
Right. I've got to be Mama Bear.
Yeah.
And I've got to be at my best. I better do whatever it takes to be the best I can be for the people that are hearing my voice.
Absolutely.
It's not like a luxury, like, well, I'm going to motivate myself. No, it's a responsibility. I have to figure out a way to motivate myself so I can be a good leader.
Yeah. And if people are listening and they hear that airplane, sorry, we're by an airport. When you have a problem, do you have a process in tackling it?
I don't know if I have necessarily a process in tackling it, but one thing that I have to do is to take my emotion out of it. Like, for so many years in my business, I led with emotion, which is like, I'm a feeling person and I'm an emotional person, and I still am, and I don't try to hide that. Like, I have feelings. I care about people. I want, like...
It's part of your brand, actually.
Part of my brand.
Yeah.
I have to often think, like, what emotions are showing up here that are not helpful in me figuring out this problem? And how can I separate myself from those emotions and look at things just logically? Because it's not only my emotions, it's my clients' emotions that may be coming into play. It's, the contractor, the subs, like, everybody's got their own stresses and issues going on. And so how can I sort of separate all that emotion and just look at the problem from a really objective, analytical point of view and figure out how to solve this? That helps a lot.
I love that. Yeah. Have you ever had a customer that was super picky or hard to work with?
Rarely.
Oh, wow.
It happens.
Okay.
Right? There's been I would say maybe a handful in 13 years. But I have a really strong process in vetting people before I work with them. So
Huge.
I've never been a person that will take on anybody. If I've taken on a job and I saw red flags in the beginning and didn't listen to my intuition, it's never turns out well.
So what are the red flags?
It's just a gut intuition. It's
Okay.
just like, I just know from meeting you, like, what the vibe is.
It's not a good fit. It took me a while to learn that.
Yeah.
It took me like 3 years.
Yep. That's not long.
Oh, okay.
Girl,
Okay.
7 years to figure that out.
Well, but you saying you've only had like a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot.
Yeah.
So
No, I hear you.
I mean, it just now, absolutely that. So like, I don't know how to explain this to people that are listening. Just trust your gut, I guess.
Yes.
You got to trust your gut feeling because everyone is going to have a different match. Like the right clients for me aren't going to necessarily be the right clients for another accountant.
100%.
And also same with staff. Like
Yeah.
I've hired people that I'm like, you're not the right fit for me. However, I would recommend you for them.
Yes.
So it is that gut.
Yes.
And I have that gut when I hire people too.
You just
You
know.
gotta listen.
You got to get really good at listening to your
Yeah.
intuition because
Yeah.
your higher self will tell you this is not, and I don't care what kind of money they're willing to pay. Like, you will pay the price.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you just have to be confident in knowing that like me saying no to this actually opens a door for somebody really great coming into my life.
I say that all the time.
And that always happens.
It's true.
It's true. Like I get a no from somebody, 2 days later I get 3 yeses from other people, the people that were actually supposed to be. And there's been times that I've, pitched for projects that I didn't get. That happens a lot. And I'm like, why didn't I get that? Like I don't understand and whatever. But then honestly, like another opportunity just comes right along.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It wasn't a good fit for them.
Yeah.
And they knew that.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Perfect.
It's okay. And then there, rarely I'll have, somebody who's interested in working with me and I'll say no. And they're like, well, can you recommend somebody else? And I'll say, no, I'm not going to recommend you to anyone I know. I want to keep my friends.
That's when you just like pull out the phone book if you have one and just go down. Oh, try them.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
know.
I don't know. Okay, so last thing, because this is huge, and this is what I've been trying to really iterate to people starting out because this was really hard for me, and I learned the hard way. Mm-hmm. Work-life balance.
Sure.
How do you do it?
Ooh, that's a tough one because if you are inclined to have your own business, like business is just a part of you.
Truth.
Like, I, eat, think, and breathe business all the time. Like I get lost in thought and my husband will be like, where'd you go? Right? Because I'm thinking of a business idea or I'm thinking about a client or I'm like, there is no separation for me. This business is me. It's part of who I am. It's my, other arm. I can't do anything without it. I love that.
I love the way that you just explained that. That is it.
That is it. It's like there is no separating me from my business. Now, are there times I have to turn the phone off and walk away and hang out with my kids and my family? 100%. And I do that a lot. But I don't get down on myself if while doing that, I have like a quick idea that I need to go write down because it's amazing. And then I can get back to everybody else.
Right.
So the work-life balance, there's no balance. It's just everything is very integrated.
Love it.
And that's who I am. And it's like you can either take it or leave it.
Oh my gosh, you are like, you're just saying everything I say. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. This is me.
This is me and my business.
Yeah.
Is part of me.
Yeah.
And it's going and it's growing and it's going to continue.
Yeah. It's the third child. It's the, it's the one that I'm also raising and teaching and growing and taking care of and,
feeding it,
and
giving it love.
Exactly. And so it's like, I can't ignore any of my kids. I just can't do it.
No.
And also one thing that I've taught my kids is that, and this is something that I didn't hear a lot growing up, which I can understand why, is that I want to teach my kids, like, I love work. It's okay to love work. My son, when he was younger, used to say, why do you got to go to work? Why do you go to work? I'm like, because I love it. And it makes me so happy. And I want my kids to see me happy.
Yeah. I mean, I love that answer instead of saying, there's times where I say, Mom has to go to work to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But also, just reminding them, like, we're going to work because we love it.
Yes. Because we love it.
We love it. And if you don't love what you're doing, make a change.
Make a change.
Make a change. Mm-hmm. I know it's hard. It sounds easier than it.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
But it's simple. It's going to be really hard, but like when you don't love what you do, the simplest answer is figure out how to do something else. It may take you years to do that.
It may.
But what's the alternative?
being unhappy forever.
Right.
And we don't want that.
I don't want that. So I'm having the time of my life. There's problems all the time. Like you said, fires break out all the time. But I'm having a hell of a time.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment.
I know.
I was like, wait a minute. Hanging out with Keri, and she has a business, and so she should probably be on the podcast.
I can talk about business all day long.
Me too. I mean, we could probably do like 24 hours, but then I need to eat and go do other stuff.
Exactly.
So we're going to cut this off. Is there anything else? Is there anything that you want to say? Any little tidbit that hasn't been said?
I want to say to people that like there is this idea that we're in this pandemic, everything's shutting down, it's horrible. And yes, a lot of that is true. I feel like there's this undercurrent going on of opportunities and people figuring out how to do things they never thought they could do. And I think leaning into that vibration, the moment is here and the time is now. So whatever that vibration is that you need to lean into, like figure out how to do that, because there's still opportunities everywhere. They're all around us.
So inspiring. That gave me goosebumps.
Ooh.
That's true.
It's
It's true.
Yeah, go find them. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
For one. No one's coming to you.
Nope.
No matter how pretty your website is.
You gotta go find it.
You gotta go find it.
You gotta go dig in the dirt.
Yeah.
Find the diamonds.
Yep. That's all I got.
And you can do it. We're cheering you on.